All right. So welcome to paint night, our fall paint night. I will start by sharing the picture that we're going to be doing today, as well as the different colors that you will need. So you're going to need white, your black, a variation of blue or teal, brown, and orange. So just 5 colors today, and I will share my screen to show the image that we're going to be painting as well. Here it is. All right. So this is the scene that we're going to be painting. We're going to be starting with the sky and the ground. Then we'll be adding our truck, our pumpkins, and our trees. So this one's a little bit more detailed, but I'm excited to get going for this one. If you need me to repeat myself, if you need me to slow down or talk louder or anything at all, if you have any suggestions or requests, please let me know. You can always unmute yourself and just ask, or you can just type it in the chat and I will be checking that periodically as well. All right, so I guess we will begin. If you haven't already, you can take off all the plastic from your paint, the plastic if you have it still on your canvas, and we can begin. So today I think we will start with the sky, then we'll get to the bottom painting. So it's about the size of my canvas. Yours might be a little bit different. That's okay. We're going to be starting with the sky, which is going to be about halfway. So you're going to need your blue and your white for this one. We're going to be using a lot of white and just a little dab of blue. The blue will change the white a lot. So a lot of white and just a little, one drop of blue. I can share what that color will look like once I mix up here. And we're going to, again, just be cutting our canvas in half and painting the top. You don't want to do too much paint here because we don't want our canvas to be too wet. If it is too wet, we'll have to wait longer for it to dry and we will be painting on top of it. So this is just the background. We can come back to it if needed. Yeah, we can come back to it if needed, but we will be painting on top of it. So again, it's not too important. It's not too detailed. Just kind of a little base coat for us here. So I'm going to be mixing up my blue here. And the paint will dry a little darker than it looks like when it is wet. Just a little. Oh, the screen keeps changing. I will spotlight myself so that, there we go. I should stay.
Sorry, we were just wondering which way do we have the canvas?
It's going to be portrait.
Okay.
If you want to do it the other way, that's okay.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
So the picture that we are basing ours off of is portrait, but again, there's always a little bit of artistic choice in our paint nights here. So yeah, I'm just going to be putting a line across my canvas there. I don't know if you
just like a lot of white. She said with $1.
Okay. Yeah, again, that's a lot of white and just a dab of blue here. It is kind of tricky to see just because it is pretty pale. And then I'm just going to be painting the whole top half of my canvas that blue color. Again, we don't want to do too much paint because if we do too much, we'll have to just wait longer for it to dry. The most important part of the canvas of this color to focus on is this part here, because the sides will be covered by trees. So if it's not all the way to the edges, that's fine.
Can I just ask who is M and KK? That's your screen name. If you can just let me know who that is.
That's us. This is Matthew. Hold on. What's your name?
Karen.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No problem.
will show you what mine looks like. Just blue from the top all the way up. And when I am done that, I'm going to go ahead and clean my brush.
What is the trick for when little pieces of paintbrush?
Oh, yep, that's what I was actually just picking mine off. I was just picking them off by hand. The paintbrushes sometimes can shed a little bit. There's not really a trick to that, especially when we're like doing like a thinner coat, because there's less paint. Like they might fall out a little bit. Mine are also doing the same thing. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just kind of picking it off. You can also take a dry paintbrush and wipe them off.
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
Yeah, if you don't want to get your hands all painty.
That doesn't work.
All right, and you guys can let me know when I can move on to the next step.
Okay, I'm good.
Got one thumbs up there. All right. All right, I see lots of thumbs up, so we will move to the next step. We're just going to continue with that base level, the bottom of our painting here. So for this one, it's going to be that brown color. So I'm going to be just doing the straight, like plain brown that this color is. If you want, you can add a little bit of your, like, depending on the color of brown you want, you can add a little bit of white, or you can add a little bit of like orange even if you want to. We will be changing the variation of the brown going forward, just for different details. So for me, I'm just going to be doing brown all in the bottom half. Again, not too much because we will be painting over top of it.
Will we be using more brown?
Yes, soon.
Okay. All right. So I guess my question would be, would it be better to do the light, like make it lighter now if I wanted to? Because mine has like reddish in it. Based on the picture, because you see.
Yeah, here, actually, I'll share you the picture and then you can
decide. No, I have seen it. I showed you. I have the sienna brown.
Right. I would probably just leave it and then you can add lighter, add other colors later to it as well.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
No problem. 1 sec. My dog's just getting something. I will be right back. Okay. So as you can see here, you can kind of see the canvas through the brown. That is a-okay, because we will be adding on top of it. If you add a little bit more brown, it should cover it up. And we will be coming back to this base brown to add some more details as well. So we will be covering up that canvas. So it's okay if a little bit of that is showing.
So we're filling the rest of the half up with the brown then?
Yeah, so the whole bottom, yeah. And again, it is just our base color. there's so much other details that we will be adding. So this one is kind of just like a base or like an underpainting is what it's called. Great, I will share what mine looks like for now. Nothing too special yet. But now we want to wait for that to dry. We want to wait for the whole thing to dry before we go on to our next step, which is why we didn't want to add too much color. So we
It
kind of
does not be perfect where it meets the blue.
that's okay. There is like a whole image over top with like trees on the side.
Good.
So if there's
All
a
right.
space, you really only need the top portion and the bottom portion covered.
Perfect.
Yeah, I will share the image one more time while we finish that underpainting.
Whoops.
So if you want to like faster way for it to dry, you can always kind of flop the painting.
Fan yourself.
And then we can clean our brush, Claire.
Yeah, you can clean your brush when you're done with that color. We will be using more brown, but not for a little while. So yes, a hair dryer. That's a great suggestion. You can always grab a hair dryer if you really want to speed the process. Hair dryer, fan, whatever you feel like doing.
Yeah, my fan. Aha. There you go.
Chocolate milk.
Yes, it does look like chocolate milk. Make sure you do not drink the paint water. I've done it before, and I would not recommend. It doesn't taste like chocolate milk, I promise. Great, when everybody is done, you can let me know. We can move on. The next step is where I think the fun part is, because we're kind of mapping out the rest of our painting.
It'll need another minute or two.
See some blow dryers going. So is everybody okay if I share the next step? If you're not ready to move on, that's okay. Just so I can share it for others to start. So while we let our kind of backgrounds dry, we are going to start with the truck placement, which is exciting. So I'm going to be sharing this in steps, so it's a little bit easier, just because when you look at it, it does look a little bit tricky and detailed, but we can kind of break it down into easier steps. So first, we are going to decide how tall and how high up on our painting we want that truck to be. So for me, I'm going to center mine and kind of put it right in the middle. You can move yours to the side, put it lower, higher, wherever you want to put yours. But we're going to start with that hood of the truck, and it's kind of just a rectangle without the bottom. So this is where I put mine. So we're going to just start with the hood of the truck there, and then we can get to the rest of the body.
How dry does the paint need to be? Like if I touch it, I'm not getting anything on my finger, but.
And that should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be fine. I mean, worst case, you can always like come back to it after when it is more dry if needed. The nice thing about acrylic paint is that you can always paint over top of it. So if you don't like something, wait for it to dry and you can paint over top of it, even if the color is lighter.
Okay.
Yes, the background banging noise, I apologize for that. That is my dog's toy. I will pick that up so you can hear that.
Can we see it again?
This is mine right now.
Oh, sorry. Can you show me one more time? I just wanted to see from the top. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks.
My hand here so you know where my canvas is as well. maybe I can paint it this way as well, so you guys can kind of see my next steps if I paint this way.
For perception, how tall is that? Is that like 2 inches, 3 inches?
Probably about 2.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. We are going to extend them a little bit more as well. So if they're too tall or too short, you can always kind of fix it up a bit. But next I'm going to add my little window, which is kind of in the back here. No rush if you're not at this point. I'm going to be doing it slow, so you can always, whatever step you're at, it's no rush at all. So just a little window in the back there. So when you're at that step, you can let me know. If you need more time, you can let me know as well.
How about I made my window too small, but
No problem. You can always make it a bit larger too if needed. How's everybody's windows coming along? Thumbs up. Oh, nice, Rebecca. Beautiful.
thanks.
Everybody okay if I give the next step? All right. So next we are going to kind of map out where we want our trunk to be. I
Can
will
you slow down a little bit? Because like we're struggling here.
first.
Can you slow down a little? We're struggling
Yeah.
a little bit.
No problem.
Okay, thank you.
So our next step, I will share my screen so everybody can kind of reference the image, but we're going to be mapping out the trunk next. So that will be a little bit lower here because you do want some room for your pumpkins. So I'll share the screen and then I will come back and show you kind of how I'm doing the pumpkins, or sorry, the trunk as well. So as you can see, where your window is, you'll want to extend your kind of, I guess, the top of the rectangle a little bit lower. But again, you can kind of add your own artistic choices to however and wherever you want your truck to be. So I've extended mine just slightly, and then I'm going to do just another rectangle, but this time it's going to be a full rectangle. just underneath here. So it's going to be just underneath. So that way I can add my pumpkins into the truck where I want them. And I'm going to be, it's probably going to be about the same size. So I know it's a little bit difficult to see the orange, or sorry, the blue on top of the brown there, but this is about how big I'm going to make it. So just a little rectangle, and that is our next step. We're only doing the outline right now. I'm not painting it in quite yet because not all of it will be blue. We will be adding some orange where the pumpkins go. So this kind of just allows us to create an outline that we will be filling in later.
Oh, the blue cover like kind of looks a different shade when you do it over the brown, or at least on mine.
Yeah, it does. It's a little bit harder to see when I pull it back here, but if I put it there, I'm sure you
Well,
guys.
on mine it looks more teal.
Oh,
really
interesting.
odd.
Okay, that'll be nice because
Yeah.
the reference picture is actually teal.
Yeah.
So let me know when you're done the trunk there and I can share the next step.
I'm done it. I'm using my phone, so it's too hard to kind of do the thumb up. So
Yeah, no problem.
oh, I lost the lid.
So is everybody okay for the next step? All right. Great. So next we will be doing, I see lots of thumbs up over there. Thank you, Donna. We'll be doing the kind of wheel hubs, I guess they're called. So this one's a little bit of a different kind of shape, but to do so, we will be extending out just slightly a rectangle, as you can see there, on both sides. And then you're going to be creating almost like a arch, not quite a full circle. That's kind of like, almost kind of looks like an ear, to be honest.
Hmm.
I can show that. So I find it easy to extend out first. And then I usually start at the top here and kind of round it around. You want to make them look kind of as even as possible, but again, nothing will be, it's really hard to get them identical, but as symmetrical as possible. And that is the base of our truck there. We don't need to rinse our brush quite yet.
One's a little bit of a wider ear.
No problem. How's everybody's ears coming along? Oh, nice. I see a red truck. That's so cool. Oh, another red truck.
We got 4 reds here.
Love it. They look awesome. So we don't want to wash our brush, but we will be doing orange for our next step. So we have, I believe we already should have 2 brushes. If not, you can wash your brush and we'll come back to the blue. So just like we kind of filled in where we want all of our truck to be, we are going to be filling in where we want our pumpkins to be in the trunk as well. So with our orange, and I will share the example just so you can see where they have put theirs. They have 4, but you can do as many or as few as you would like to. So I will share that screen and you can see where they have done theirs. And if you want, you can do them exactly like they have, or you can change it up. It is totally up to you. The reason that our truck, the ears of our truck and the hood of our truck don't quite touch is so that there is space to put your pumpkins if that's where you want them. If it's not, then we can always extend those blue lines when we go in to fill our truck in.
Oh, look at the license plate.
Very cute. You can feel free to fill in your pumpkins while we're here as well. So I will stop sharing.
Oh. Okay.
So for me right now, mine just look like little semicircles that I'm filling in.
And you said you're just using the same brush for it?
No, so I'm using a different brush for the orange.
Oh, okay.
And then we're keeping our blue. We don't need to wash the blue because we're coming right back to the blue color next.
Got you.
Yeah. If you have blended your blue and your orange, there's no problem with that. The nice thing about acrylic paint is we can paint over top of it once it's dry. So once you're
Sorry, my problem is more I'm trying to figure out where within this, because it looks different now.
right.
So the pumpkins are going above the triangle, above the bottom rectangle.
Yep. So I can show you.
I had made mine a little bigger because I thought that was where the pumpkins were going to go.
See, can you see mine even if I'm showing?
Yes. Okay. Now I understand. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So then if I don't have that much space, because in my head, I thought that was where the pumpkins were going to go.
Right.
But you said, how can I fix that? Because I would rather have the pumpkins show a little more.
Right.
Because I look like I have a tiny space.
Do you mind if I see yours?
Yeah, give me a second here. I just got to move because I got stuff in front of my phone. So
So yours are your pumpkins down here?
I haven't drawn any pumpkins. I'm just saying I had made that bigger. I had made that rectangle a little bigger because I
Oh,
thought that pumpkins
down
were gonna
here.
go.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So if you want, so right now your rectangle is like here. You can shrink it down,
Okay.
add another
And
line
then
down here,
yeah.
and you can just paint your pumpkins over top of that line.
Okay, and that's okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Sorry.
It's beneficial if you guys see this or if you see the example.
At this moment, maybe that.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
But whatever. Other people. So the orange will just cover up the blue, or should I try to
It should, if the blue is dry, it should, and if not, it might just need a second coat.
all right, cool. Good to know.
How's everybody's pumpkins coming along? Oh, nice. They look good.
Thank you.
I see a little thumbs up too. Oh, nice. Those are nice pumpkins. So as we fill in our pumpkins, our next step will be to fill in the rest. It's kind of like now it's like a paint by numbers now that we've like mapped it out. So we are going to be filling in our rectangles, our ears, and the hood of our truck, but not the mirror. The nice part is our mirror is already the sky color, or sorry, not our mirror, our little window. It's already the sky color, so we don't need to do anything with that anymore. We are just filling in our 4 blocks there. So filling in this part, I guess I'll just mark off where we're filling in this part, and this part.
I like the smile.
Thank you. So yeah, we're filling in all of that. They will blend together, but we will be adding a little black outline after. A little cheat code on the black outline would be to use a Sharpie or a black marker if you have one. But we also have our paintbrushes. It'll just be, sometimes it's hard to get like that fine line that we might want, but we will get there when we get there. So we're just going to be filling in our truck now. I always like blocking off little shapes to fill in. It just makes it so much easier. then once you are finished filling in that blue, you can wash your brush because we are done with the blue. Again, no rush on that.
Can I see yours again?
Yes.
The one you're doing? Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Starting to look like a truck. Feel free to wash your brush when you're done, but no rush.
You made one of your pumpkins a different color. Or did it just worked out that way?
Yeah, it worked out that way. I think the paint's a little thinner, so the like blue is actually kind of showing through on the back there.
It's nice though. I like it.
Thank you. It's an unripe pumpkin.
Yep. Or a different variety.
Yes.
Claire,
Yeah.
I have a question. So on mine, where the brown is underneath of the truck, it is significantly darker.
Right. Okay. So once your truck is dry, if you paint a second coat on, it should level out.
Cool, thanks.
No problem.
Claire, I have a question too.
Yeah.
My paint keeps lifting off and I don't know why. You see, every time I put the brush on it, it lifts it off. It looks like an old blue jean jacket.
Oh, okay. I see. So your bottom might not have been fully dry yet. So if you leave it to dry.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe just leave it to dry a little bit. Also,
Okay.
like if you were to be doing like a second coat of blue, like Donna would be doing right now, if
Okay.
your under part blue isn't dry, once you put paint on, it lifts everything up. Even if it was dry underneath, because you're painting wet on wet, it will pull. Yeah. So
Okay.
your canvas will start to show. So maybe just leave it to dry for a little while. We are
All
coming
right.
back to the truck after our next step anyways. So you can always paint your next.
All right, thank you.
How's everybody's trucks coming along so far?
About 90%, 95%, 95%.
Nice, nice.
Because I had a smaller brush that I used for the outline, so
Yes, I did the same thing. I should have switched to a thicker brush. This one wasn't quite quite large
yeah,
enough.
and at this point it doesn't make sense. Going around the pumpkins now.
I'm just gonna go use my hair dryer, but I'll mute
No
it.
problem. Sounds good.
Okay.
Claire, do we need Q-tips for the leaves?
So
Uh-oh.
I thought about recommending Q-tips. If anybody has Q-tips in
Nope.
their general vicinity, feel free to grab them. We can also
Nope.
use the back end of our brushes.
Okay, good.
So
I normally have Q-tips and I don't know where they are.
no problem. I don't have any with me either. So I'm just going to use the other end of our Q-tip, which is actually, or Q-tip paintbrush, which is actually our next step. We won't necessarily need to start the next step. I'm just going to kind of prepare you guys for it. But we are going to be starting our leaves, which are technically the background, but we will be adding them in on the side here. So you can start them as low as you want them, as high as you want them. I'll probably start mine around the base of the truck here and go up. So we're going to be starting with the same color as our background brown, the lower here. And as you add more dots going upwards, we're actually going to get a little bit lighter. So to do that, you can add some orange for more variation to your brown, as well as adding some white. And you can make as many different variations of the brown, orange, white mixtures together. But the top part of your leaf should be the brightest. So maybe like a white with a touch of brown, and the bottom part will be the same dark color here. And then in between, we can add some oranges if we want to, orange and white, or orange and brown, whatever you kind of want for the background. I will share the screen so you can see the different colors they have. They are using some greens and some reds as well. We don't have that. So we're just going to be mixing some orange and brown and white, all the colors that we do have, to make that variation.
So if I have green, I can use it?
Yeah, you can definitely use green if you have it. You
Okay.
can use any colors you want. And so you'll see the leaves are actually done using dots. So we will be using either Q-tips or the back end of your brush to get all those dots. I'll share the screen and then I'll share my screen, and then after that I will start with the leaf process and share my screen. I'll share myself doing it. I'll flip my canvas around so you guys can actually see what I'm doing.
You didn't do the other pumpkins though, you just did the ones on the truck.
Yeah, just the ones on the truck for now.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
All right. So is everybody okay if I start with the leaves now? So I'm going to be starting with just my plain brown. You might not be able to see it fully on the background, but that's okay. And if you want, you can also just dab with your regular paintbrush. I'm going to start by doing that just so they're a little bit bigger, the dots. But again, I'm going to be starting around here. Can't really see it, but I just want to really make sure that base color is fully filled in. But as I get up here, I'm just going to be adding lots of dark dots here. They can overlap a little bit, however you would like to add them. But this whole background will basically be going from here all the way up in a diagonal this way. And again, we want the bottom to be darker than the top. If you want, you can even add a little bit of black paint to your brown here if you want it to be much darker. I might do that on one side so you can see an example of that too. But we just want to fill that in, and then I'm maybe going to add a little bit of orange to my brown here and start filling it in with different colors of leaves. So when I add that orange, the leaves get a little bit lighter. So if you can see that, they do get a little bit lighter, as you can see there. So we are going to make our way to the top of our green. I will continue doing this side on camera so you can see just how I'm doing it. And the more orange I add, the lighter they'll get, and I can add in some white when I get closer to that top as well. So my brighter orange is near the top, just like so.
So you're using your brush for now?
I'm using my brush. You can feel free, just so they are going to be larger. So the larger the leaves, you're probably going to want to put on the back. And then you can go ahead at the end and do more detail with the base of your brush or a Q-tip or however you'd like. You can even just use your brush if you want to. They will be larger if you're using the end of your brush, and they will be smaller leaves if you're using this. For example, like if I do one orange dot, it's quite a bit smaller. So if I want to at the end, I can go in and add some of those smaller dots on top just for more detail as well. And these do not have to be perfect, as they are our background of our leaves, and the main focus is actually our truck. This is just kind of a fun little detail we can add though. And just like I was saying before, I'm going to add a little bit of that black just to the bottom here so you can see the little bit of dimension. We don't want to add much black because it does make a huge difference to our brown color. We want to add like the tiniest little bit of black, and it'll still darken it up quite a lot.
I did a dot mandala class,
Yeah.
and so I got all these little dot tools.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes, that would be the perfect tool to be using right now.
Okay.
So I added some black there, and it does make a huge difference. And I didn't add a lot, so I might start to do that other side. If you want, you can even do both sides at the same time so that your gradient looks the same on either side. It doesn't have to look the same, but it's just kind of like a little cheat code, and you don't have to keep mixing the different shades. If you get some on your blue, not a problem. We can fill that in. Again, the nice thing about acrylic paint is that you can always go over top of it.
sorry to be a pain. So are you adding orange in there as well, or is that like a brown that has orange in it?
Yeah, so
Like,
I'm
are you
actually
doing?
adding a little bit of orange as I go up, and then I might add a little bit of white as I go up as well, just to get that gradient. So I've added a little bit of black to my brown, my brown and
Uh-huh.
orange mixture. And then I might
Okay.
go like a little bit more orange and then a little bit of white so that it slowly gets brighter at the top because the sun will be shining on the top of your image, like hypothetically speaking. So the darker will be near the bottom.
But to clarify, that's mixed into the brown, not on
Yes.
its own, correct?
So yeah,
Okay.
so as I kind of rise up my image, I'm using the same kind of swab of paint that I have on my palette. I'm just adding a little bit of orange and then I'll add a bit more orange and then I'll add some white. So it's the same color, just kind of getting slightly different.
And one more question for you. If I wanted to add a bit of green, am I best to mix that into the brown or brown into that?
I would mix it into just the brown.
And where would you do that? Near the bottom?
I would probably wait until I've done this and then add some green on top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks for your help.
No problem. So as you can see now, I've added a little bit of white to that color. And if I pull it back, it's just kind of adding that like dimension, kind of aesthetic of some sunshine in there. It's okay if there's some blue showing through the background because that would just be like the sky kind of showing through your leaves a bit. So no problem there. So whenever you're happy with that, you can kind of keep adding, keep trying, stop whenever you feel like it's complete for you. I am going to try to go a little closer to my truck there though. But we will be adding a black outline as well. So if it's not fully there, no biggie.
So we don't have the side view mirrors on yet?
Not yet. We're gonna add those on top.
Okay.
Just because it'll be easier rather than having to go around those little details. So as of now, your truck should look pretty simple.
Thanks.
Right, I'm gonna end there, but feel free to add as much detail as you want to that. And when I'm done, I am going to wash my brush. If you wanted to do the Q-tips or the end of your brush there, I would add that on top of these because they will be smaller. So they will add a little bit more dimension afterwards.
Oh, you're coming up to the truck. Okay.
How are the leaves coming along so far?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. This one's the most tedious part for sure.
And you said for the green that you think I should wait until afterwards?
Yeah, I would add them on top. Let me
Okay.
share the example.
Okay.
Oops, wrong button. You can see here that there's like just a touch of green on
Yes.
top there.
A little bit
Yeah.
because they're mostly gone. Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
that makes sense.
So if you have red or green or
Yeah.
whatever colors you guys want, you can definitely add them to your leaves.
Yeah. Starting to splat now.
Yeah, sometimes if you add too much at once, they will start to blend more. Um,
Hmm. Need to let it dry for a minute before I can,
yeah,
but I want to show you it in a minute, but
okay. How's everybody else's leaves coming along? I got a thumbs up. And when our image is done, you can always come back to adding more leaves or adding small details anywhere else as well. The nice thing about acrylic is you can always keep going. The tough part about acrylic paint is knowing when to stop.
uh-huh. Just a second here.
Oh, that looks nice. Great job.
Okay. I think part of the problem, you don't want to know what, because I have the background blurred, and I think that because it doesn't see me, it's blurring that.
It looks like
Actually, I gotta,
with the blur though, it looks like a great gradient.
but I need to
Sometimes
let it dry a little
it's
bit.
helpful if you put the like image behind you or like in front of you. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Can I see the bottom of yours?
Yeah.
Like the bottom where you did, because it's mostly just dark at the very bottom for the
Yeah.
leaves.
So
Okay.
you kind of want it to almost like blend in with these colors.
Yeah, okay.
Because our last, or well, I guess our next step For those of you who are ready, we are adding our pumpkins. So you're going to be adding your pumpkins here and here. You can add some in the front if you want to. I will share the image so you can see where they've added theirs. I might just add a couple on this side and a couple on this side. But we're adding our pumpkins next. So just, again, those orange kind of circles to make pumpkins. So for these pumpkins, you're going to be adding your orange circles. And then we actually will be adding just a slight bit of white to add some detailing. And when we do that, we can go back to the pumpkins that are in the truck and add some of that as well. So,
Oh, I have to mix more.
so because our background is dark, we might need a couple coats to create our pumpkins. So for example, if I do one pumpkin, here, for example, you can't really see my pumpkin. So the thicker you make the paint, this one's much thicker, the thicker you make the paint, the easier you will be able to see. And if you add actually just a slight bit of white, white is quite a powerful color, it'll be actually easier to see your pumpkins too. So if you want, you can add a little bit of white to your pumpkins.
Right.
So feel free to add as many or as few pumpkins as you would like to. This is kind of the nice part where our, kind of the artistic freedom comes in. So for example, on this bottom pumpkin here that I just did, I added more white. It's much brighter. It's a much brighter pumpkin with a lot less.
Oh, okay.
It pops a bit more with that white color. And then you can actually go back in. Let me show you here. You can go back in on these pumpkins here and add just a little bit of white detailing to make them look more like a pumpkin. So just kind of like those little lines. Just like so.
Uh-oh. Okay, my dogs aren't going.
No, that's my dog. Sorry about that,
No,
guys.
no, I was wondering if my dogs would start because of hearing.
Okay.
That's what I was worried about.
All right. So that's my pumpkins. I'm not going to add any more, but again, feel free to add as many as you want, as few as you want. And we will go back in to add some more of that black detailing. But you can see some of my pumpkins are brighter than others. These ones are a bit brighter. Some of them have a bit more white in them. But feel free to kind of paint them however you choose. They have some kind of like little bit of lines in them, but really not much because we'll go back and add that black detailing. So my image, you can see my truck is a little bit higher than the other example, but that's okay. And I will go ahead and wash my brush when I'm done that. How's everybody finding the pumpkins? It's a little bit darker on the background, eh?
Mhm.
I got a thumbs up. Are you all done your pumpkins?
Mostly.
Mostly. Oh, nice. I love the range of size of those pumpkins. They're so bright. Oh, those ones look great too. I like the red truck. That's really cool.
Thank you. I forgot to unmute
No
after I dried my drawings.
All right. So I know some of you are done your pumpkins or almost done your pumpkins. So I can explain the next step, which we are going to be using our thin brush, black Sharpie if you have one. I'll be using a thin brush though. Thin brush and your black. So this is where we're going to be adding basically the rest of our, oh, sorry, I forgot a step. So we don't have red. So we're actually going to be adding our tail lights in orange. So before you clean your brush, and if you have cleaned your brush, you're going to get it dirty again with your orange.
if I have red, should I use red or do
Yes,
you think
use red
orange
if
is
you have
better?
red. I don't think most of us do, so add orange if you don't. But you're just gonna be adding your 2 dots for your taillights. I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger there. Right about there.
Hmm.
And right about there. And then you can go ahead and wash your brush. That one's a little bit low. I was doing it upside down. But I'll fix that. So sorry, mine are a little bit lopsided, but that's what they're gonna look like.
But you're also painting sideways.
There we go. That's a bit better. Perfect. So once you do that, then we will be doing our black. So go ahead and wash your brush when you're done those. So for our black, we're basically going to be just doing our detailing. We are going to start with where we want our license plate. That says fall. If you want it to say fall, great. If you don't, that's okay too. You can add your own license plate or just whatever you'd like. So basically our license plate will be going right in the middle here. So a little square. And then we're gonna add our little detailing of our black outlines as well as our rear view mirrors and our tires as well as little outlines to our pumpkins. So basically now we are just adding detailing. So I'm going to start here with my
Should we have tires first?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing our license plate first, then our bumper, and then our tires. So I want my license plate about here. And then I'm going to be filling that in with white as my last step. But we are going to be doing that first, and then you're going to be doing your little outline on the bottom of your truck next. So that way we can add, oh, sorry. Here, maybe I'll do this. That's a bit easier. Our bumper here. So it is going to go out a little bit wider than our truck ends. Just like so. We will be filling this in later as well. So it's okay if it goes over top of one of your pumpkins like mine, because we will be filling that in. So basically you're just going to be wanting to add in your details. Start with your license plate, your bumper, maybe add some tires. And then our black detailing around the truck and around the pumpkins. So you can always make your tires bigger or smaller than mine. It's up to you. But I will share the example so you can see where their black outlines are as well. And our last step will be filling in that bumper and filling in that license plate. So there are some black lines around the entire truck and all of the pumpkins. I will also show you quickly how to do the rear view mirrors. So for theirs, it's basically, they kind of look like antennas. They're just lines and dots. So little lines going out.
We're still on tires.
Yep, no rush at all. I will share the other screen as well.
Yeah, but seeing you do it is a little different too.
Okay, no problem.
So if you don't mind holding off on the one,
Yeah.
if that was okay.
Yeah, no problem. So I think I'm gonna fix this tire because it's not quite as square as I want it, but that's the nice thing about the black is you can always add and touch up too.
Okay, black.
Or is everybody okay if I do one of the rear view mirrors? So you can add them as long as you want them. They're just basically a line and a little circle. That does connect. It's just, there we go, yeah. You can fill in that circle with your black, and we will add some gray once we do the bumper there. So just literally like a little lollipop or an antenna on each side.
You're giving us 3 and 4 steps at a time, and we're getting really confused.
Okay, sorry about that. I can just leave my painting right here.
Prior to brain injury, but yeah.
Of course, do you need me to repeat any step at all?
Not sure. Maybe the tires, but I'm not there yet. I'm just
Yeah.
doing that other part.
Okay, no problem.
This is a weird question. The bumper on the one side, and I don't know if that's purposely, like it's kind of a slight angle, right? Is it?
Yeah, that was just because I was doing it upside down.
Oh, okay. So it's not necessarily needed to
No.
be. Okay. All right. Okay. On the tires now. So you did more of like a little rectangle and then filled it in,
Yeah,
or is it?
yeah.
I know
So-
this sounds weird. It's just my head overcomplicates it.
Yeah, no problem. Just a little rectangle and then you fill it in. However, like whatever size you want your tires to be. Mine aren't perfectly exact to each other, but try to make them.
And will that other piece be filled in, that side piece that's like kind of above it, above the
Yeah, this
tires?
part we're gonna come back to that step
Okay.
once we finish our black.
Oh. Um, Tire's a little big.
No problem. If needed, you can always go back and kind of reshape them with brown around the outsides as well.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't shake it initially first, and so you know how that's some of that oily stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty watery.
Okay, doing better now.
No, I can't paint.
You know, it's unmuted, right? Temporarily unmuted.
Just for everybody to hear you. It's so great.
Yeah, it's unmuted. Means I can hear you.
So I will share the other example just so you can see what else is outlined in black. If you have any questions, please let me know. We're not filling in the license plate or bumper yet, just doing black outlines. So your black outlines will be around the truck and around your pumpkins.
Oh, I haven't done the pumpkins yet. Oops.
No problem.
Yeah, I just. Hmm. Now, did you do the stems already on the pumpkins?
Not yet. I'm just doing my truck first.
Okay.
Black outline really makes a difference.
Mm.
So once you
And-
do, and no rush again, once you do your black outlines, this is where we should be at.
Oh, oh, that rectangle. I don't have that.
I see a blow dryer going. How is your black outlines coming along?
I haven't even started my blackout lines. I'm waiting for the pumpkins to dry.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, please feel free to take your time as long as anybody needs.
Sorry?
I
I
said,
didn't hear you.
yeah, for any of the steps, take as long as anybody needs.
I think I'm gonna have to come back after and I'll just pay attention so I know what I gotta do next, but
Okay.
I'm so far behind.
No problem.
I missed that black rectangle. I guess you just did the outline of it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. On my end, it seems like it's off kilter to the rest of the truck. So that's my challenge right now.
The middle one here or the,
No, the other one. Like, I mean, I had done it originally, but then we painted the blue in. So
Right.
then I guess somehow.
so mine was just plain blue and I added that just with my black.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the outside lines of the bigger rectangle.
Oh, I see. Okay, yes, yes.
It was originally there, but then painted in, and so
Right.
somehow my brain is, yeah, making it fun.
No problem. If needed again, over those black lines, you can paint the blue because it's acrylic,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
then fix up the lines later too.
Yeah. So I think I need to make my pumpkins a little bigger than how would I fix that? Yeah.
To make them bigger, you would just add more orange around the outside of
Do
your
you see the
circles.
corner where like where that back part of the truck is? Like, you know how I said I kind of screwed up my lines there?
Right.
So yeah, now my pumpkins don't fill in that corner, so it looks funny. That's all.
Right here.
Yeah, like yeah, each corner. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fine. You can always extend your blue, like, sorry, your lines of your truck, and then fill them in with blue if you want. Your pumpkins don't
Mm.
have to go to the edges. It's fine because it would just basically be
Mm.
the top of your truck reaching the edges.
So I don't know how the line on the truck would work then.
It would just go straight down to wherever it meets the rest of the truck.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and that should line up wherever kind of those
Yeah,
lines.
that's right. I will try that. Mm.
How's everybody else finding the lines going? Oh wow, that looks great.
Very tedious.
Yes, it is very tedious, especially because you want to make them quite thin as well.
Mm-hmm.
Takes a little while.
The
I
trick
have to
might-
get going, but I wanted to, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep, okay. Can you hear
Wow, that is beautiful.
Oh, wow. What color truck is that? Is it like a grayish black?
that? Bluey gray.
Oh, I
Cool.
love it. Very
Please
nice.
share that again so I can spotlight it for everyone. Beautiful.
That's
Oh, I love
awesome.
your
Hold it
license
up.
plate says boo.
You are so talented.
I just, good instructions.
That's nice.
Great job.
Thank you very much. I have to go. My head is, it's leaving.
So next minute.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thanks for the delivery of the materials and for the instruction and the patience and making it easy for me to attend by being a Zoom.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll see you next time.
Good night.
Bye.
I'm not sure if you saw her license plate there. It said boo. Ours can say anything you want. The example image says fall. So you can be creative. You can make it say whatever you want. You don't even have to really fill it in. It's up to you. But I am going to share the last step just because I have about 5 minutes left until I have another obligation with my other job. So our last step will be filling in our license plate white and our bumper will be gray. So I recommend starting with the white first and then adding a little bit of black to get your gray color. Once that is dry, then you can add onto your license plate whatever you want it to say, but we're going to be doing white and then we're going to be doing gray. So I can share that on the screen. And if anybody has any questions as I do that, please let me know. And please, again, do not feel rushed to get to this step at all. Take your time. I'm just running a little short on time here.
Before you go, I have one question, but I'll wait
Yeah,
till
no
you.
rush.
No, I want to show you mine and ask you because I might just actually just use the pumpkin to fill it in actually.
Perfect. Okay.
But I'm gonna ask anyways.
All right. So now that's white. If you want, you can share yours now while I mix the gray.
Okay.
I'm sure if you have a question, I'm sure somebody else does or will as well.
Okay, those corners that I was showing that I was talking about, the one over to this side is okay, but the one on this side, I don't know because of how that blur. I'm sorry, I didn't realize the blur would.
No
Oh,
problem.
wait. Oh, hold on. On this side here, where my finger, I don't know if you can see my,
Yeah.
that side is weird to fix, so I don't know how to do that. Am I better off just doing the pumpkin?
Yeah, you can always just add, like if you add a little bit of an extra layer, so like to make your pumpkins larger, you can just make it larger just with the orange and then go around it with your black after that. So you can always add more around too.
Okay.
And then once you do your white, you can mix your gray color and you just fill in those sections. Make your gray. And that is what it will look like when it's done. And you can add your word to your license plate however you wish to after.
You mentioned you were going to put gray on the mirrors.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. So with that same color gray, you can just kind of add like a mini reflection to those mirrors. Just kind of like a little detailing, kind of like those pumpkins, just like not fully filled in, but just a little bit of a reflection there. Just for some more detailing. And that is our fall image. I would like to, Donna, I'm not sure if you have the image and you can share it for the rest of the time people want to stay on, but I want people to know they can stay on and finish their painting, even though I'm popping off. But I do have to head out. Thank you guys for joining me today in our paint night.
Thank you, Claire.
Yeah, and thank you. Yeah, thanks for joining me, and I will gladly come back and do another paint night for another season too. If you have any suggestions for images, you can probably let Donna know and she will let me know. But if anybody has any questions before I pop off, feel free to let me know.
Are we supposed to put in a, do a shot of our picture and send it in for funding?
Yes, if everybody can send me an email with a picture of their painting, that would be awesome.
Yes. All right. Well, it was great to see everyone again, and I'm sure I will see you all again soon. Thanks for joining me for another paint.
Thank you.
No problem.
I'm going to stop the recording now as well.